I don't have any of my like technology here, like as in my laptop that I normally use for my scripts and stuff, so I'd look it up, but I just decided to do this right now, and I'm gonna get into why in a minute if I can get my thoughts to work with me. No, I'm not depressed, and that's why this is really weird for me. It's just like, you know, those things that happen for like no good reason, but they all line up eventually and make sense. Yeah, okay. I knew this YouTube thing was important. Hello, and welcome back to another video. As you can tell, I'm sure this is not going to be a normal video, because I may have had an epiphany, and I've said that quite a few times in my life, and it's never meant a thing, because I go right back to being how I always am, every single time. I'm not wearing any makeup either. I've clearly just been crying, but I don't think it matters. And I don't mean none of that matters in a terribly morbid way, despite the fact that what I'm going to be talking about is probably pretty morbid. I guess I might as well start from the beginning. I started my day off by watching a video on YouTube from a YouTuber that I don't normally watch. It was just in, you know, like suggested videos about 5 life-changing books. And the one that I think speaks to me is the one that I didn't even bother including on my list, because I thought I've heard it before. That it was essentially a girl talking, I don't even remember the name of the book, but about, she read something out about how you are not your body or your brain or even your soul, but you are in the trees waiting for yourself, and you are life. And I didn't think that hit me very much because, I mean, I listen to Alan Watts a lot. Well, not as often as I should, because I don't even know why. I just don't. But I love him. He's dead and I love him. I know that doesn't make any sense, but he's the one that inspires me and gets to me. Like, if you look up Philosophy Step or even some Chill Step mixes, will have his inspirational kind of speeches. He was a philosopher, essentially. And everything he says just really speaks to me, and whenever I'm in a really low place, I always listen to him. There's a quote by him, I don't remember the quote either. Essentially what he says is that you are the universe, you are the waves, or the ocean waving to itself, or anyway, something very similar. So I just figured that I heard it before, and I'm like, you know, like, it's not really worth my time. Huh. Whoa, I am tripping up right now. I don't say that, I've never said that in my life, but whoa, I just, you know when you look somewhere to get your thoughts straight, so you like, you just kind of like stare off into space, like this is happening right now, in the midst of my weird epiphany thing that I'm trying to somehow explain. So, in that video that I watched, she was talking about a book called A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle, and I hadn't thought that I'd seen it or heard of it before, and she was also talking about another book by him, The Power of Now, and I didn't think, like I said, I didn't think anything of it, and this is like literally happening as I'm filming this, talking about the other thing that I thought didn't matter. Not that it didn't matter, but you know. So here's a story inside a story. I'm a book lover, but I don't read much, but I do buy books all the time, especially at secondhand stores. And I came across this right now, looking over here, that I've never read before. Maybe I should. Maybe this is a sign, do you think? Jeez. It would be the books that I have and didn't know I had. I don't even remember having it here. Why? Since when? What? I'm so confused. So, anyways, I was just watching A Ghost Story, which is like a super cheesy love story. Contemporary love story. I know, contemporary love stories, books or movies, they're my guilty pleasure, and I don't always love them, but sometimes they just hit me, and this one just so happened to. And, it seems like a really out of context scene, and I haven't finished it yet. Like, this is happening right now. I just decided. Anyways, But there was this scene where this guy was all of a sudden talking about how everyone's going to die, and he asked if anyone had children, and that their their children are gonna die, and it's obviously really morbid. But and then how like Beethoven like makes songs, and let's say like he did it like for God, but all of a sudden he just woke up one day and realized that there was no God and it was just physics, and then whatever. Anyway, the point was is that like the Earth is one day going to explode, and then like everyone's gonna die, and the Earth will explode, and then even if let's say we're like on another planet in however long from now, we figure out how to take these things with us, and then we revert to like caveman style, and one day we just remember a melody, like a Beethoven melody or whatever, and it sticks with us. But even that doesn't matter. Like he essentially just brought up the one pure part of me that has always been my deepest, darkest trigger for depression or anxiety or anything. Anytime I'm in a really bad place, I always think about, well, like, what's the point anyways? And it just got me thinking how, like, I think about this a lot, and I don't really know why it matters right now, but I feel like it's really vital, so I'm talking about it, because usually when I feel like something's vital, it's vital. I guess it's like a gut feeling kind of thing. But anyway, so I just again, I guess came to the conclusion that nothing really matters. But this time, it wasn't a morbid feeling. It was like relieving, but it wasn't like relieving as in, okay, I'll just do whatever I want and be super dangerous and bad. It was relieving as in like, like, yeah, like I'm okay with it. But not even like that, like, because I've thought about that before too. I'm like, okay, then I just need to accept that nothing really matters. And then I think I have accepted it, and then I haven't. I didn't even finish watching that scene because my G-Box or my Android box thing that I have just decided to cut out on me, and it does that sometimes. Then I waited for it to load, but it didn't load, so I was just gonna like try to make it like find another stream for it to work. But then I got up and I went to the bathroom, and then it's like one of those times where you just kind of stop and you sit in the darkness. I don't know if anyone else does this, but it doesn't really matter because I do. So you just kind of, I just sat there and I felt. I didn't feel sad. I just felt the impeccable beauty, phenomenal experience of being alive. I am life. I'm living. I'm a living creature. And then I proceeded to look at all the things around me, all the worthless objects that I allow to have value in my life. But again, it's not worthless as in like, oh, why would I ever buy this paintbrush? That's so stupid, it's worthless, and then we're all gonna die, it doesn't matter. No, it's not like that. I was just like, I don't need these other things to control my life. And then I started thinking about anxiety. And I mean, lately though, like I have been thinking, I honestly just, like, I want to live and I want to take risks and do things. I don't want to stop. I don't want to let my anxiety stop me. And it's so much easier said than done because obviously nobody wants their anxiety to stop them. Because it's a cruel freaking disease that decides to trap you in a little bubble when that's it's just, it stops you from enjoying the whole sense of life. Like it's like death in a way, where it's like the polar opposite. And in life, you're supposed to live and enjoy and be happy, but it forces you into this tiny little ball of pain and fear, even when there is nothing to fear. Essentially, like there's things to fear because we are mortal creatures, but it makes them so much bigger than they need to be. But lately in school, I have been walking, and I've been using just the idea in the back of my mind that I'm not afraid, because like I'm genuinely not afraid. I've done it enough times now that. And like one of the times even that I just wasn't afraid, I remember. It's like, remember, you're not afraid. Like you're good. So I've been walking the hallways at school as much as I can, I'm so off track, but I'm just basically saying that lately I'm having this sort of idea in my mind that this year is going to be absolutely vital for me, and I've only been 17 for so about 2 months, and I still feel like this is the absolute vital age, and I'm not even sure like for what. It's just absolutely vital. It'll be like, I know it'll be super painful, but it'll be super important in my growth and just incredibly enlightening for me. I don't know how I know this, but I know this. I guess because so far in these past 2 months I've felt the lowest lows, and I can't say the highest highs because, well, I haven't, but the things I have felt have been incredibly powerful. I don't remember my point anymore. Maybe it's just that there isn't a point, but that's okay. It's like the calm before a storm. Although I'm in the storm, or the storm is coming for all of us, but it's okay. But it's not okay because I'm going to die. And that scares me because I'm a mortal human. But I guess what I did want to say also is that I have also realized that even though life is pointless, or so to speak, we're all gonna die, if we lived forever, it wouldn't mean anything either. And you'd just be floating specks of dust. And it would be exhausting. I don't tend to do what I know I need to do, even like if it'll make me feel better, or if I just know that it'll help me or somebody else. I don't tend to do the things that I think will help, even though I know they will, and I just pretend that they won't. In a way, like making this video is one of those things that I know will help me or somebody else. So I just got up and I turned on the camera, barefaced and unafraid, because all that really matters are people and love. And I'm not even quite sure how yet. Maybe I'm just as lost as I ever was. And I don't think that I'm going to figure it out. None of us really have. I mean, we're still struggling with what's the purpose of life, and always freaking out and just being scared. I mean, like, my mother's told me that everyone thinks about it, and I'm sure that's true because it's something that we're all gonna face, and you just, like, most of the time, people just find an answer that works for them. I don't know if I'll ever be satisfied, but I think that's okay. Maybe it is just genuinely okay. Maybe I'm now just genuinely, like, okay with it. Yeah, that's not true. I'm not okay with it. I don't know what this video was. I don't know what I'm thinking. I don't know how I'm feeling. Screw my epiphany. It's supposed to be really great and enlightening. There's no right answer. There's no one path that will determine everything, and you never know how anything's going to work out actually anyways. So really, you should just make the choices that you want to. Although that's the problem, because every time I get into one of these slump things where I start thinking about it, I think about, well, okay, life has no purpose, and the purpose is you should just be happy and have fun. But I think that's a little bit pathetic, because fun isn't fun after very long. You can only party so much before you get sick of it. Like, you just become immune to the things. So I just want to do things, I guess. And I'm not really sure where I want to put my energy, because I don't have a goal or a known purpose, so I don't know what things to do to benefit myself. And then I'm like, well, you're just alive, and there doesn't have to be one because you're living. And maybe there isn't a goal. Maybe you are just a force, and that's okay. I haven't come up with a conclusion yet, and I don't think I need to, and maybe that wasn't the point of this feeling. Or maybe I should stop looking for the point and just Here's my stream of consciousness. Maybe I should just stop looking for the point and just live, which was the point that I came to in the first place. Oh my god, this is incredible. I don't know what's going on, and you're seeing this happening right here, right now. This is like... That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what I was feeling. And then trying to explain it led me to believe that I had to have a point, and that I had to be okay with there being no point, but it's not about the point, it's about living. I think. Dang, you see, I do this thing where I always try too hard, and I make... There's always a point to something, there has to be a logical conclusion. And I think what I'm feeling right now, I know this is literally part of who I am. I have OCPD. It's a personality disorder. I'm genuinely that type of person. I'm all logical, and I think I've just had an emotional epiphany, which is why it's so foreign to me. I'm just so tired of my anxiety and not doing things and putting everyone else before myself. Not in a selfish or selfless way, I just genuinely want to live. And I'm tired of not living, and I don't know. And I want to be okay with not knowing. And I don't want my impending essays that are coming up to cause me so much stress that I can't enjoy the current moment, because that's not what this life is about, and I have to stop thinking that it is, because I consistently do. Even if I think, oh well, it doesn't matter, then I'm like, okay, but it does to me right now, to my current lifestyle, and that's great. It can matter, but I really would love if it could stop controlling my existence and everything I do, because it's so not worth it. So not worth it. I just want to love and be loved and make myself known. Not like known as in like Beethoven, like famous known. I don't know, I just want to be a person and to stop making myself small. So I guess these are my resolutions for the year, in a very odd stream of consciousness-like manner. But I am pleased to say that this was 100% raw, real, in the moment, unscripted, and probably the best thing I've ever filmed, despite the fact that I don't think I'm in the center of the frame and the lighting's probably really bad, and I don't know if I cleaned off my camera lens. But remember that it's okay, because that's not... Oh, I have to stop using "that's not the point," because the point, it's not what matters. The point is not what matters. Whoa. You know that quote thing that's like, it's the journey, like, stop focusing on the end result, it's the journey that counts, or something? As cheesy as that is, and despite the fact that it never sunk in with me, that's kind of what I'm going for. So I'm just gonna leave now. So thank you for watching this, and goodbye.